Hello and welcome back to the Lady Lorian Show. We're going to be talking about the one, the only Obi-Wan Kenobi today on this episode. Now to get us started, how is everyone feeling? Terrible, I know.
We're
all
sleepy.
tired. Yeah.
This is going to be like the Lady Lorian's slumber party edition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're going to fall asleep halfway through.
If you hear some snoring, you know why. We're just going to let it happen. Maybe if Dodge falls asleep, we sadly can't mute her, but we'll be able to mute
Oh
the
my
other
gosh,
people.
that'd be awful if I fell asleep.
That'd be an editing nightmare.
Oh my gosh.
We would just keep talking. You would just have to.
We just have to talk louder.
I don't snore.
I don't know.
I
You
sleep
like
talk,
a snore.
I'll
Oh,
sleep
that
talk.
would even be better.
Rose acting like she's been there while Dodge is asleep.
I have never fallen asleep on a Zoom before.
I've seen Rose outside my window once or twice at like 3 a.m.
I just gotta check.
Rose is my sleep paralysis demon. Like
That's
I
fun.
wake up and she's just there.
Oh my god. But
She's the cutest sleep paralysis demon I've ever
I try, try to look nice if I'm gonna, terrorize people. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about our favorite Scottish man. So, thoughts?
Ewan McGregor, New York City.
What's that one clip where he's like looking at Otis? He's like, look at all this Otis.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah.
Look at all those chickens.
Mm-hmm. Basically.
I love
So-
him.
Our man is so relevant.
It's crazy that we're filming it because the day we're filming this, the night we're filming this, tomorrow they start
Yeah.
filming the show. So it's crazy that we decided to talk about this tonight.
Perfect timing. This was planned.
Yeah,
We
we
should've-
knew this.
I
know.
definitely didn't just see the tweet right before
Yeah.
we started.
Yeah, no,
recording.
Disney called us up and was like, hey, just to let y'all know,
Yeah.
we got some news.
They
You're welcome.
told Ewan that he should have joined our podcast just to have a refresher right before he filmed. But, he wasn't able to record with us today, but it's fine. Next time.
But Hayden Christian Anderson, wait.
Hayden Christian.
Sorry, I got him confused with another guy. Vikings. Hayden, though, he did join. Real nice. He
We also
showed us
didn't get
Ewan.
him recorded. So
I think Christian Anderson, didn't he write fairy tales and stuff?
Yeah, he's the
Author of The Little Mermaid or something?
I don't
yeah.
know.
Hans Christian Anderson.
Yes,
There
that
we go.
guy.
There's, whatever.
How
Don't
dare
matter.
you reveal our special guest?
Sorry, guys. Yeah, that started filming. People on the TL were talking about how excited they are and how Hayden and Ewan, yeah, I think that's how you.
Doing, yeah.
I don't care.
know.
I mean, I care. Talking and catching up. Hayden's talking about the farm and how his chickens are doing. Which, by the way, how are the chickens doing? Are you having hawk problems? I can shed some light. Just
Marine biologist coming in here.
excuse me. Okay, we're ranchers first. All right, don't diss me, Dodge. Anyways, God, always so rude. So I'm really, I'm really excited. I didn't. Logically, I should have known they were gonna film soon if it's gonna come out in 2022. So
I know we're talking about Obi-Wan in this episode, but while we're talking about his series, I'm so excited about rumored kindergarten age Luke and Leia.
I know you are.
But
I know. You're like
I diverge.
literally, it's funny to see how everyone's like, oh my gosh, Hayden's back for the show, and then it's always your tweet that's
I'm
okay,
baby
but can we
Luke.
talk about the children? Can we talk about baby Luke?
Okay, speaking of babies, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Good transition.
It all started when he was born.
Wait, really?
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
It really did.
Talk about his birth.
Went to the Jedi Temple when he was really young, little baby. And I think Obi-Wan just has such a tragic story.
He does. Mans has been through a lot.
Yeah, he has a really tragic story, and it's really hard. Every time I think about him, I just can't help but think about all the things he's been through, and I don't know. I love his story. I mean, it's heartbreaking, but he is like probably one of the characters in Star Wars we have like the most like knowledge about. We've seen him through all these different stages of his life, and it just makes me so emotional.
I know. I feel like he's definitely had like the saddest like story, like in all. Like he's just lost so much and been through so much that he was struggling, but he survived until he
Did
died.
he though?
Did survive. I mean, obviously, well, technically he did.
Like mentally, is he okay?
You know, he did spend a lot of time on Tatooine, so.
I want to state the
Oh.
only reason Rose made sure she was here today is because she's definitely waiting for me to cry.
Now, which brings me up to my point, because Ruthie mentioned babies. Now let's talk about the biggest theory about Obi-Wan and Satine and Corky.
That is
Yeah.
Obi-Wan's baby. I not take criticism. That child belongs to him.
Corky kind of looks like Herbie the elf or whatever from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer to me.
No. Don't
Like,
be
do you think he ever became a galactic dentist? Bro, imagine he shows up to the Jedi temple or something if he's like training to be a Jedi, and then
I
Mace
don't
Windu's
want to
like,
be a Jedi.
You're late to elf practice.
I don't want to be a Jedi. I want to be a dentist.
So I know, like, technically in canon, Corky is Satine's nephew, correct? Or like cousin?
So Corky is never confirmed who his parents are. But
Yeah, it's confirmed. Obi-Wan and Satine. That's
I mean,
it.
it's like vastly assumed that it's Satine's son, and we don't know who the father is. But I believe that it's never confirmed in canon for 100%.
Well, I'm confirming it here right now. I just got off the phone with Dave. He said so. Especially like when people like do this like comparison pictures, I'm like they did that on purpose. Dave Filoni was like, you know what would be funny?
Plot twist.
I did just look it up, and yeah, they do say in the story that he is Satine's nephew. However, they don't explain like who his parents are, like who,
Obviously,
because he's not Bo-Katan's son. Like we know that. So like whose
Nephew.
child would he be if he,
Please.
yeah, nephew. Great cover up. I value it above Raylo.
disgusting. Get out.
Whoa. We got that on recording.
I am not ashamed of that. I mean, I love them both, but Obi and Satine just hit.
She
different.
cries harder to the TikToks of Satine and
It's
Obi-Wan.
just more tragic. It's simply more tragic.
Yeah, I agree.
They are really cute together. Yeah. Except the whole like she died in his arms thing. That was
And then everlasting.
She got impaled by Darth Maul thing. Like, we're gonna forget about that.
See, this is why I think Darth Maul should just stay dead. You know, like
Yeah,
the dark side let him live.
everything that Darth Maul did to like Obi-Wan is like so sad because like Qui-Gon was like his father figure.
Yeah.
And then Darth Maul just stabbed him. Everything Darth Maul did to Obi-Wan is so sad because if you think about it, like Qui-Gon was like Obi's father figure through so much of his life because he went to the Jedi Temple so young, and that scene in the first movie, like that became like Obi-Wan, like I guess like really like officially becoming like an adult, like he has to like grow up because like Qui-Gon dies and then he has to take over and become Anakin's master, and then Darth Maul just had to come back, get some robo legs and say, no, taking your master's life was not enough. I must now kill the one and only love of your life and steal her planet while I'm at it.
I love that for him.
Yeah.
Why? Like, I get it. It's the dark side. They're all about like revenge and stuff. But like, man's cut you in half because you killed his master. Let it go.
let it go.
Like, grow as a person and realize, you know what? Y'all are even now. Like, what more? He's not gonna be able to bring your legs back. Like, realize that.
How come every Sith Lord is just like a cat like they just have 9 lives.
I
Oh.
don't understand.
I was like,
But the
I
Jedi
know, I was
don't.
like trying to make the correlation.
all Sith Lords are cat boys.
it's true.
Please, no one draw that.
Cats are
I mean,
evil.
get it.
Palpatine Catboy.
He would be the naked cat.
What?
Oh, like
no,
hair-
I know.
Listen, we can have a whole episode on my feelings about Grandpa Palps and
Papa Pal.
Mhm.
everything with him and
Yeah.
stuff because I hate him.
Another
Passionate.
theory we could talk about with Obi-Wan is kind of another definitely unofficial ship is SJ Ventress. I
Asajj
probably
Ventress.
yeah, whatever. She's SJ now.
SJ.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I didn't pay attention to that, I guess, the first time I watched Clone Wars. But now, like, so many people are pointing out how, like, every time they fought each other, they were so, like, flirty. And I don't understand.
I think it's just because it's Obi-Wan. He flirts with
Yeah,
everyone.
that's true.
So
Obi-Wan's not supposed to be flirting with anybody
can't help
because
himself.
he's in the Jedi Order. Can we talk about that?
Well, the
Jedi
Jedi
aren't
Order
supposed to have romantic relationships.
Well, the Jedi Order is outdated, and that's why it failed. So,
period.
Yeah.
No cool Jedi ever didn't have a thing for someone.
Obi-Wan said, "I'm built different.
I'm built different.
I'm just built different."
He
And that's
just
why he had the high
suppresses his
ground.
emotions. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he actually, went to therapy and stuff on like his, Padawans.
Yeah.
And that's why
Him-
they're the way they are.
Him and Yoda had therapy every Thursday night about how to getting over his emotions.
We always talk about like Anakin, like, and obviously he is, but being like this huge, like, angsty teen rebel, But like, look at Obi, like, I mean, he was ready to like leave the Jedi Order to chase his love life, which, like, okay, romantic king, but also like that's kind of angsty.
I mean, definitely when he was, like, with Qui-Gon and he met Satine, I would say, like, rebellious because obviously he was, like, in love with her. But then he, leaves her and he goes to be in the Jedi Order. It's only, like, later, like, way later in life when he sees her again that he's like, had you told me you loved me, like, I would have left, like, given that. But
She was also dying. So
I'm like, blame it on her, like.
He needed to tell her that, like,
yeah.
that was his last confession because she'd be taking it to the grave. So no one can snitch.
But I think it is true though.
the whole
Yeah.
room of people was also there. And
Not anymore. Gone.
and she told him when she died, she was like, I always loved you. It just
He did it to hurt Kenzie.
literally that whole Obi and Satine was created solely to hurt me.
But to go back to your point of like Obi-Wan like somewhat rebelling, I think Obi-Wan and Anakin were rebelling in different ways. Like Anakin was like, let me just kill some people because I'm hurt. Anakin was more like serial killer and Obi-Wan was more like
Different types.
yeah. And Obi-Wan was more like, you know what? This really sucks, He was angsty, but he was more like, I'm gonna keep it to myself. Ain't no one gonna know. I'm fine, guys. Like tears streaming down his face. I'm fine, guys. It's okay.
Anakin was
Alright.
more punch drywall angsty, and then Obi-Wan was more like, I'm gonna go write Milk and Honey style poems in my diary
Yes,
angsty.
exactly.
That's
You know what I
that's a good way to say it. He just
Like-
didn't show his emotions.
Anakin is Kyle and Obi-Wan is Mr. Darcy.
Oh my gosh. I knew that there was going to be a Pride and Prejudice like reference. That I feel like that's your first one.
Yeah, it's my first one.
Wow.
Don't worry, there'll be plenty more.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm just warming up.
No, great. But that's so true. Like Obi-Wan was just he's the king of suppressing emotions. Like literally.
But not suppressing, like, I don't think he, like, suppressed his emotions in that way. Like, I mean, he loved people and he cared for people, and we saw it in his actions all the time with how he took care of those around him, especially, like, with Anakin and, like, how much, like, he cared about Anakin and felt like everything with him was his responsibility.
His love language was acts of service.
Yeah.
Wow, we're really breaking him down. Acts of service.
He's
I
not
do.
expecting it.
The thing is like I feel like he suppressed like his own emotions and his own feelings. Like he like always did everything for everyone else based on like cuz he like cared about people, but he never did anything like for himself. And so he suppressed his emotions that way.
Bro, true. I mean,
Yeah, he
after
definitely-
Qui-Gon, like, who was there for Obi?
No one.
Like Satine, and then Satine died.
Yeah, but
Like-
him and Satine hadn't seen each other in years until the Clone Wars. And I mean, like Anakin, I mean, he says it obviously at the end of Revenge of the Sith, like he was like, you were like a brother to me, and like they had each other, but Anakin was Obi-Wan was always like the older brother to like Anakin and like looking out for him. Although Anakin saved Obi-Wan's behind on a couple occasions.
Yeah.
I hope that one of the themes of Kenobi is like how loss like affected him later in life and how grief affected him later in life. You know?
Yeah,
The
because
reason why he was in a cave.
yeah, like there's just like a huge gap in Obi-Wan's story right now. And so, I mean, when we see him in A New Hope, he does not say that he's not Obi-Wan. He's Ben. Like he like completely got rid of like that idea of him. So it's going to be interesting just seeing how he dealt with everything that like the Jedi had happened, like falling apart and him being a part of that and having to like literally have no one and have nothing until like, you know, he's how old is he supposed to be in A New Hope?
That timeline is so confusing to me because it's only 20 years, 19 years since we see him in Revenge of the Sith because Luke is 19 in A New Hope. But for some reason, Obi-Wan aged at super speed because
Look at his
You're
life.
so right.
Look at his life, bro. That
Well,
would give me so many wrinkles. Like,
so like if you like, I don't know, how old do you think Obi-Wan is? Like 30?
30.
In Revenge of the Sith, so he's like 50, but he just looks super old. But you know, obviously, this is because of they didn't know they were gonna do these other movies when they wrote A New Hope.
I bet that Obi-Wan, like part of the reason he isolated himself after Anakin turned is because man's like probably just developed trust issues. You know, like he probably didn't want to get close to anybody anymore because everyone he got close to, he just ended up losing.
I mean, yeah, outside of the fact that he had to hide because
Oh, no,
they were
absolutely. But
killing
I
the
think
Jedi.
emotionally, like that had to contribute to.
I mean, there are some like comics that go into it right now, like that are officially canon technically.
Oh, Tay, I'm not a comic reader. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not either. I just watch videos that explain comics. But I do know they are out there, so there's a little bit of like gap filling, but I feel like a lot of them just focus on like the little things that happen and not like Obi-Wan and like his like journey and like figuring out his emotions and stuff like that after the Clone Wars, because the Clone Wars too is such a big thing that happened to him and affected him, and the clones became like brothers to him and served with him, and to see them turn on all the Jedi, like that had to have affected him too, especially Rex. And well, he didn't see Rex, but Rex didn't, but Cody, like seeing Cody, who was like one of his best friends.
I
like, that-
wonder if when we have the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, I wonder if in the battle with Vader and him, he like, I don't know. You know how like Palp ages when he uses the lightning or whatever? I wonder if Obi does something that like makes him age a little bit because there is that like age like gap thing.
Yeah.
It's the sun on Tatooine.
You know, it could be that.
It's the UV rays.
I know in one of the comics there's a panel where Obi-Wan does try to go see Luke, and not to train him, just to, like to see him, but Luke's uncle refuses to see him and blames Obi-Wan for what Anakin did and be like, no, you can't see Luke because you're gonna fail him just like you failed Anakin. Just for the ink sink, I said that, you know. Got it.
Yeah, Uncle Owen did not like Obi-Wan, which is
Oh, Uncle Owen.
So special. That's why he burned.
I'm gonna need a minute.
Okay, hold up. Though. On a happy note, I'm gonna turn this around really quick because that was really angsty and I can't handle that right now. It was sad, okay? But I was just thinking, like, Obi-Wan is one of those characters who, like, kind of has, like, the full circle thing happen to him, though. Like, I feel like he ends up having a good arc and a good story in the end, because imagine how happy he was that he got to be for Luke what Qui-Gon was for him.
Literally, the scene in Phantom Menace exactly mirrors what happens with
Yeah, that is
Obi
true.
and Darth Vader.
And Qui-Gon was like one of the most influential figures in his life, and like his main like mentor figure. At the end of his life, you know, he gets to end up mirroring what Qui-Gon did for him and who he was for him. And I think that's a cool
Yeah.
thing.
The thing is like Obi-Wan wasn't necessarily like in Luke's life for a while.
For long, no.
He also is like the one who introduced him to like all this Jedi stuff and everything. And
It's true.
I mean,
He wasn't planning to die.
yeah, but well, he was when I think
Kinda.
when him and Vader get into the thing, because you see him like smile like right before, like, I mean, he literally gave up his defenses to Vader so he could kill him, because I mean, he says, he's like, you know, kill me and I'm, you know, I will become more powerful than ever, because he's going to become, you know, one with the Force and, you know, go on to be able to do things after he dies. And
This is true. I revoke my statement.
I mean, he wasn't probably up until that moment when he realized, like,
Yeah.
this is the only thing that's going to happen. This is the only way to make this happen. And I do think, like, he got to feel like I mean, obviously, in this universe, in Star Wars universe, like, he lives on, he's in the Force, and he got to see Luke bring back Anakin in the end and finally restore balance. I don't know. We don't have to talk about the sequel. Because as far as in terms of the originals and the prequels, he gets to see Luke finally like do that and bring back Anakin, who again was like his brother and someone he loved.
Like even rewatching A New Hope after like watching Clone Wars as well as the prequels, it just like makes that Obi Vader like fight like so much more emotional, because it's not just like, because when you first watch it, you're like, wow, this is like, compared to the prequel fights, you're like, wow, this is like a really crappy fight, you know? But it shows that like Obi like never wanted to fight Vader. Like he never wanted to like do that. He simply was doing that because he knew that like the next Jedi, Luke, had to escape, you know? So it makes it like super emotional that even like when Obi was like had gone through all this and like Anakin Vader literally destroying everything that he had worked hard, like he still like wouldn't take his life. I feel like if the fight was more like epic and stuff like that, it wouldn't make it like as emotional as it is how it is now.
True.
So Obi-Wan not like wanting to like kill Vader and like fight him because, you know, it's Anakin. I'm gonna be honest. I say this with two siblings. I just you know. Oh, come on.
Your siblings watching this, like
My sister's not gonna be surprised at all. My brother might.
Hi, Rosa's sister.
Hi, Rosa's sister. She loves us. She hates Rose, but
but it's like he's already taken two of his legs, one of his arms. Just like, bruh, just end it. Like, why keep it going? I guess like the plot wouldn't keep going if like Darth Vader died. Whatever. Leia does mention Ben after Obi-Wan, and you know, obviously, like, you know, he was the only hope that, you know, came through in the end. But like, do you think Obi-Wan had a bigger part in Leia's life, and that we don't see? Maybe that's why he aged so much. He had run after Leia so much. He was like, yeah, I'm training Luke, I'm not training this one.
Well, I think to Leia, like, I mean, I'm hopefully we'll see a little bit more in Kenobi. But I mean, obviously, like, Bail was friends with Obi-Wan during the Clone Wars. So I'm wondering if, yeah, she had more of like a uncle figure, Obi-Wan, in her life. She does name Ben
This
Solo.
might like exist and be, you know, canon and some literature and stuff that we haven't read, but like I wonder if, you know, even if they didn't immediately meet and he wasn't physically, like that sort of uncle or godfather figure in her life, like I wonder if just from her family and from her people, like she heard like legends about him and, just like, like your grandpa telling you war stories, like that kind of thing. So he probably, if he didn't exist to her physically, he existed and was alive to her through like stories and things like that.
Yeah, because I do get you do get like the idea from A New Hope that like they haven't met, because when she like does the whatever hologram, there we go, words hard. She's like, Obi-Wan Kenobi, like years ago you served my father. Like she's saying it like she doesn't really know him, but obviously he was important enough to her for her to go ahead and name her child after him.
That's where she gets her sassiness from.
That's how true. But
Anakin's genes, Obi-Wan's raising.
Just stir that. That's gotta work out,
This won't go wrong at all.
That's an interesting thought. I never thought about Obi having a impact in Leia's life more than just like he's the last one, so might as well call him and see if he's still alive, But that would be super. That's an interesting take. I would have never thought about that.
Well, I just think of everything, just mile-a-minute brain right here.
I think Obi-Wan is like such a perfect or like imperfect example of like how flawed the Jedi Order was in like the way they expected Jedis to live and exist, because again, we talked about how Obi gave up his like love for Satine and all these things that they say are bad, but the fact that Obi-Wan viewed Anakin as a brother is like the reason he didn't like kill him or whatever, and was like showing kindness to him even though he was like being bad and stuff. Like I just think Obi-Wan is a great example of that emotions and feelings can't be suppressed. Yeah, or well, they like aren't necessarily a negative thing.
Yeah, I get that. Like we definitely like see like how like the Jedi, like they're told to give up whatever, like they become Jedi. That's all they know. When they join the academy, they're out there trying to help save the galaxy, right? But they don't get anything themselves, and they're told to like have this like relationship between their Padawan and their masters. But then they're also told to like get over it when they die. Like they're so willing, or at least not really any of the Padawan master relationships that we've seen, but there'll be hints that like if your Padawan dies in battle, that it happens. Like just get over it. Like we'll get another Jedi type thing. And it shows just like they don't really get to like do anything that they want to do. Like literally from when they're a kid, they're thrown into this, they live it, and then they die, and that's it. Like that sucks.
I'm so glad that, again, not to diverge, but I'm the Luke Stanny, okay? But I'm glad that like Luke got to have a childhood and he didn't get sucked into everything and all the formalities at the age that Obi-Wan did, because when Obi-Wan like went to the temple at Coruscant, like dude was like 5 or 6 years old. That's some trauma.
Yeah, it also like what Obi-Wan, well luckily like Obi-Wan had Qui-Gon for so long, and like he like was like a father figure to him.
Yeah.
But then like when you look at like Anakin, like Qui-Gon was supposed to be his father figure, and then he died. And so like that's like literally like we've talked about this before, but Anakin's like fall, I guess. But even I feel like Obi-Wan just had like that. It shows just like how strong his bond with Qui-Gon was, and like how like that was like probably his first time like experiencing like loss in that way. And so like his last like person that he knew like from like growing up was Satine, and like having her being lost too, as well as Anakin, just like I can never imagine. He lost it all.
Yeah, and Padme, we haven't even talked about, like, Padme was part of that group of people that, like, him and Anakin and Padme throughout the whole Clone Wars, and he loses her too.
Oh my gosh, he was there when, except for Vader, but he was there when all of them died. Like, he was there. Oh my god, that's so sad.
Technically, you'd say he was probably there in the Force.
I mean, he was there when, like, Anakin, he
turned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is-
Well, let's talk about the master line with Count Dooku, Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan. Count Dooku trained Qui-Gon, and Qui-Gon's death is what turned Count Dooku. And so, like, you can see that, like, that line was very what?
I forgot about that. Okay.
Yeah, and like Count Dooku was trained by Yoda, I believe, and like that was a very strong line. But with that strong line was very obviously strong feelings, and that like obviously carried. Count Dooku and Obi-Wan probably interacted before, and so when they had to fight him, he was like, "Okay, gotta fight my master's master real quick," you know. And it's just like, you know, the Jedi believing that you could just cut off all familial ties and all like relationships that you have is what causes Anakin for his fault, because like it's like not possible for anyone to do that, and that's why a lot of people are like, this did kind of make more sense. But it's just like Obi-Wan, like Kenzie said, was an imperfect example of like the Jedi. Like you can be so him being so devoted to the Jedi, and then for them in a way to just fail him, especially after the High Order. Once again, in Attack of the Clones, 250 or something Jedi went in, and 170 died because they were not trained for battle. They were diplomats, but they were no longer battle trained. Obi-Wan and Anakin probably knew all of those Padawans at least, and like for them to just die so like brutally and like so unprepared.
When you think about it too, when you think about all of those Jedi dying, they feel that in the Force like every time, and the overwhelming feeling of that. And I've seen people point out that, you know, Anakin's turn and path to the dark side started when Qui-Gon died. That's where it began. And since that moment, he was never going to finish his path on the light side. And I think it's just, again, it's that issue with the Jedi and no emotions, no attachment. You can't feel these things, and it's so bad to like cut. I mean, we can talk about that like realistically in real life too. Like cutting off your emotions is not healthy and not good, but especially in Star Wars where these people are Jedi who hold laser swords and are connected to the Force and affect other people's lives so greatly.
I mean, we can tell, like, just like Qui-Gon was like different. He was different from the other Jedi. Like he
Not like other Jedi.
he's not like the other girls.
He's built different.
He's built different. But like he was so like there's just something. I love Qui-Gon, so I love that man. But
Really?
yeah, did you know that? But like he just like Qui-Gon, you can tell that he, even though he was a Jedi, he like was one of the first Jedi that we see that's like actually like knows that there's like a relationship between your Padawan and master, and that like that's just what happens. And so like, and because of that, he was so successful in like training Obi-Wan, like, and like he was going to be so successful in training Anakin, but as soon as he died, like they knew that Anakin was too
Emotional.
yeah, like Anakin was too emotional to have just any Jedi be his master. Like he needed to have a master that like had that bond that Qui-Gon would have, and like it was like a fatherly bond. And when Qui-Gon died, like Obi-Wan did become like his master, but it was more of like a brother rather than like a father figure for him. And it shows just like how Obi-Wan or how Qui-Gon's use of like having that relationship, knowing that there is like this bond between you two, how like this is how they can be successful. And because he's like the last one to do that when he died, pretty much like it showed just like how the Jedi kind of crumbled after that.
Yeah, I don't know. Chosen One, Immaculate Conception, and don't sound well. I would have heard that and be like, yeah, so we're gonna have to go hard no on this one. It just don't look like it's gonna go well.
They tried.
Obi-Wan definitely did try. God, that must have been so hard for like Ahsoka and Anakin both being rambunctious and just like, yeah, let's just blow up a planet. And Obi-Wan's like, we just can't do that, man. They're diplomats. We're diplomats.
Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan was just sitting in the ship alone, be like, Qui-Gon, why'd you have to die? Like, literally,
Why'd you
why?
have to be alone?
Literally, Qui-Gon. I'm so mad at you right now, love.
Qui-Gon's ghost is just laughing at him from afar.
They probably had talks sometimes, and Obi-Wan was just yelling, and Qui-Gon just like.
The strangest part of all of that is that like they weren't like force ghosting back then, because Yoda learns how to do force ghost stuff in like season 6 of Clone Wars or something. So like for most of that time, like Obi-Wan didn't have a way to connect with Qui-Gon really. And you think about that whole time period and how like the Jedi didn't sign up to be an army. That was not what they were intended to be, and having to be put through all of that and see so many people die. Like, I cannot even imagine the emotional toll that took on all of them. Let alone like Obi-Wan, who like lived through it and was one of the last surviving Jedi.
Once again, to bash the Jedi Order, are they real stupid? Because how could they not figure out that the clones were like going to pull that? Like they had those little microchip things, but like also like honestly, how did they not notice Palpatine was Palpatine? Like, how dumb do you have to be? Like, can't you just? Why did no one pull like a Kylo Ren and be like, all right, I'm gonna look through your head real quick. You acted too suspicious.
That's the one that I like question all the time, is like how they didn't like sense the dark side in him. Like the Jedi were constantly in the same room as Palpatine, who was like literally plotting all this terrible evil stuff. Like, how do you not sense that?
But I just feel like they were just so gullible in it. They're like, there's no way that there's a Sith that powerful to get to the top of the Senate. So they probably didn't even think about it. That's so true. Like, why didn't they sense it? Like, they could freaking sense a Sith a mile away, but you're having crumpets and tea with your freaking Sith partner in the Senate, and you can't sense him.
After meetings, they're probably like, all right, so which one of you is messing with the dark side? Speak now.
Someone in this room.
Palpatine's like,
I often think about like, who was Palpatine? Like how did no one know?
Plagueis the Wise.
Well, how did no one know that he was like
Being
force sensitive or anything? Because like, how did he figure it out? Like, because most of the Sith that we've met, like, or like dark side users, have been former Jedi or former Padawans, right? Like Dooku trained as a Jedi. Asajj Ventress also trained as a Jedi. Like, most of these people from the dark side were formerly Jedi.
Palp woke up, was born, woke up, and was evil.
He said, I choose evil.
He said, the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I feel like Mace knew. He just didn't say anything until the last minute when everything was going down. He's like, this is my time. I knew it.
I love how Mace pulled up to his headquarters with his.
He said, I knew it.
He was like, I've always hated you. Time to up on you. Gets thrown out a window. The window.
First it's Mace Window, and now you're saying he got thrown out of a window.
They did that on purpose. They knew that was going to be a problem.
George Lucas thought it would be funny.
Lucas.
Not
funny.
Not funny.
No.
I just realized
funny.
George Lucas named Luke after himself.
Yeah, he really went crazy with that one.
He said, Luke is me.
We're on to you.
We're on to you.
Lucas,
I know.
Stratosphere Saunterer.
But yeah, we got way off of Obi-Wan real quick there.
That's okay.
Oh, there was a funny scene, and it's where Padme and Anakin were like reunited in Attack of the Clones, and like Obi-Wan's just there like limping in pain. He's like, I'm ignoring it. I see it, but I ignore it.
I do not see it.
He just like doesn't want to deal with it, so he just like pretends he does not see.
Yeah, I mean, that's another example of like Obi, though, like if you think about it, like taking care of Anakin, because Anakin was not supposed to be having a relationship with Padme. And I mean, obviously Obi-Wan knew. You have to be blind to not know.
Neither of them were hiding it well. People
No.
could see it a mile away. It was put in the Daily News, little updates.
And he
Put in Us Weekly.
They just hid the papers from Anakin to pretend that he's doing it well.
Coruscant Weekly. OMG, did you see Padme Amidala?
I wonder, do you guys think that Obi-Wan never said anything because he always wanted that with Satine? And so
Now, why would you say that in front of Kenzie?
he allowed Anakin to do it because he knows that he would be constant pain from it. So he
Dodge, you gotta stop. You're hurting Kenzie.
Dodge, I was just about to say that. Like, I literally think it's the empathy that he had for Anakin.
You made Kenzie cry. Apologize.
That's Rose's job.
I just like, sorry. It was just because he was like, well, if I can't do it, I'll let my Padawan do it. And then, oh my gosh, what if he blames himself? Is he like, wow, I couldn't even get over my feelings about Satine, so I let my Padawan do it? And then now he turned to the dark side, and so this is all my fault. And so that's why he lived in a cave in Tatooine for 20 years.
You said maybe I shouldn't have let this happen.
Maybe this is why we can't have relationships. I'm sorry, Kenzie. I didn't mean to break your heart.
Obi-Wan just deserved better.
He really does. He deserves a TV show.
Well,
oh, what a brilliant idea! Oh, okay, not to hurt Kenzie more, but what if we see flashbacks of Obi-Wan and Satine? What if we see a secret kiss?
I won't make it. I won't survive.
Oh
You're already crying.
The thing is like, we've talked about this so much, like we want to have so many flashbacks in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, but I don't know if we will have a lot of flashbacks because it's so
I'll
short.
make it happen.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I mean, they're gonna all be like an hour long.
I know, it's true.
So it will happen.
At least we'll have that. But it's like, how many episodes is it supposed to be? 6, right?
8?
think.
I don't know.
6 or 8.
I just know there's only one season, correct?
Yeah, it's a limited series. And it's like 6 or 8, something like that.
Cowards.
But I
Wow.
love the director, so we're gonna be fine.
So like it's obviously gonna have to be filmed like the end of Revenge of the Sith. How long did they say it was? Did they say that?
I don't think they said it. They just said that, Vader and the thing is he looks older.
I mean, yeah, he looks older, but again, if you get too close to A New Hope, he's not going to look like an old man. They did announce it. It's going to take place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith.
I want to see more planets. Like, God, I feel like we see the same planets over and over again.
Yeah, and then we get to see like really cool planets, and then we see them for like 5 minutes.
Do you think Obi-Wan Kenobi went on a world tour?
No.
Bro.
Like, how like
here I am in Scarif. I know nothing happens here.
Like, do you think he stayed? I don't know if he stayed on Tatooine.
I don't think so.
I think
Like,
he
maybe
got
he was
tired.
watching over Luke the whole time, but then like you bring up the Leia thing, so like maybe he just like went in between the two, or
Maybe
maybe
he just felt it through the Force. He was like, they're okay.
Can he just like check on them like through the forest?
I mean, we know from Rebels that when Darth Maul goes to find him, he's on Tatooine. And we know from the comics that a lot of these things that take place in the comics during this time period are on Tatooine. So I'm imagining he stays there. I mean, he might have like, once or every now and then he might go somewhere.
Once again, why must everyone be British or have an American accent? They should have let Obi-Wan have a Scottish accent, but they didn't because it would kill people in the theaters.
That would have been cool.
didn't he have a Scottish accent?
No.
Oh,
It was British.
I would remember.
But we are seeing more accents because there was that Imperial officer in The Mandalorian. He had a southern accent.
I mean, we do see like a lot of Rebel pilots who have more southern twang. So it's just interesting to see that an Imperial officer with one, because normally it is like the Rebel pilots.
And not to bring him up again, but General Hux could have had that Irish accent.
Oh my god.
Okay, anyways. Yeah, Obi-Wan his life is tragic. People always talk about how Anakin's life was tragic and, Yeah, I guess it was, but like, man, I'm over that boy. Let's talk about Obi-Wan, how like he was going through it. He was just like, I guess I don't have to kill people to feel something. Unlike others. I was gonna bring up me, Obi-Wan, and Din have the same MBTI type, which is INFJ. And so
What are these acronyms?
The 16 personality type.
yeah,
Luke
we
and
have the
I-
same one.
Oh my
Luke and
god.
I have the same type, so INFP baby, cry baby type.
Me, Obi-Wan, and Din be rare with that personality type.
What's your
That's why we're so
personality?
cool.
What's their personality type?
INFJ.
I'm literally almost the complete opposite. I'm
I
an
know.
ESTJ.
That's why Din wouldn't like you. Anyways. Not really.
Me and Qui-Gon have the same one.
What
Qui-
the heck? Who am I? I literally feel like I've
Probably like
that before.
Anakin or
What's
someone who
yours?
talks a lot.
Wait, what's yours, Dodge?
ESTJ. The people who like follow rules. You know what? I'm probably Yoda.
Darth Vader.
But how am I the same as Vader? Okay, because I have questions. Because an ESTJ does not give a crap about emotions. Like they do for family, but
Mhm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, no. Like I'm
Dodge.
not the same as him. I think that's incorrect.
Maybe not the same as Anakin, but Vader doesn't care about other people.
And he saves Luke in the end. Dodge, just accept the truth. You're just not going to be as cool as me and Kenzie. Just
I will never. It makes me so mad when there's like TikToks or whatever. This is totally off topic.
Dodge is still mad that Tiana and I have the same Enneagram.
Literally, because Tiana and I, oh, I love Tiana. She's literally my queen. I relate to her so much in the terms of like no.
apparently not
emotion.
enough.
I know,
What?
but like
What's Tiana's Enneagram?
she's a 3. I'm a 1.
I'm a 4.
What Enneagram?
I'm a 6.
I can't remember.
I'm
what
6 W5.
Disney.
You're a 6, Rose.
We've had
Why-
this
why are
discussion
we-
before. I know
why
you're going to say I don't believe it.
We're really revealing everything.
Yeah.
But-
We're going real deep. People are going to really analyze us.
What I was gonna say, this is not related, but I was gonna say, you know how you like have those TikToks where it's like, who's your boyfriend based off your month? I never get Din. Never.
God damn.
Every single time.
I get the worst ones because I'm born in August and freaking everyone hates Leos.
I'm an Aquarius. If you make TikToks and you want to do the month thing, I was born in February, so you know what to give me, people.
But I did convince someone that Din is a Virgo.
I don't know what Virgos are, so irrelevant.
It's true. So
Oh, it's because you're a Virgo too. Shut up, Dodge.
How did we get here?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness. We're going down real deep. Please don't analyze the things we said, especially me, because I refuse to be perceived.
Not perceive me.
Let's go back to Obi-Wan, my homie.
How often do you think he shaves his beard? Like not shaves it, but like trims it. Do you think he trims
Every
it
day.
often?
Every day.
Like, do
Every
they have
day.
galactic barbers?
That's
Of
what I'm
course.
thinking. Like what Jedi, like, there had to be a Jedi that just like didn't want to be a Jedi anymore, and they were like, you know what, I don't want to like be a Jedi, but I want to like cut the Jedi's like hair, you know?
And you
So
even,
like, what if they use the Force with the scissors to cut precisely?
that is so extra. And that could go so wrong.
I highly doubt that.
Could you imagine twisting your fingers wrong and the scissors are just in your neck?
That's unfortunate.
That's suspicious.
That's just
That's weird.
Palpatine in the shadows like, I think it'll work.
maybe that's why he's bald.
Okay.
He shaved too
anyway,
close one day
The Lady Lorians love Obi-Wan. In conclusion,
Period.
and love getting off topic.
Obi-Wan deserved better. I feel like we had a really cool discussion about him tonight and things stemming from him. This is your weekly reminder that we are doing a Meet the Lady Lorian series over on our Instagram, where you can get to know all of the Lady Lorians a little bit better. We've done a few already, and we're getting ready to do the last couple. So make sure you check that out. Go back and look at the old ones, check out the story highlights, and get to know all of us outside of what we share here on the podcast, because we only get so much time every week to get to know you guys on here. So we love to connect with you guys outside of just the podcast. And other than that, make sure if you are listening on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you're listening, to subscribe or follow. Leave a comment and a like if you're listening and watching on YouTube. Make sure to leave a review if you're listening on Apple Podcasts. We love our reviews and our comments. They make our days. And have a great week. We'll see you next week. Bye.
May the force be with you.
This is the way.